五十嵐おーす。
武田先輩びっくりした。先輩がうざい。
My Senpai is Annoying is a recent addition to the catalog of comedic slice of life romance anime, and we've been thoroughly enjoying it so far. Whether it be Takita's bullying, Igarashi's aggression towards those who mock her stature, or the entertaining ensemble cast and setting, there is a lot to love when it comes to this anime. So, while we wait for the next episode to release, here are some recommendations to keep you busy in the recent addition to the catalog of comedic slice of life romance anime, and we've been thoroughly enjoying it. Whether it be Takita's bullying, Igarashi's aggression towards those who mock her stature, or the entertaining ensemble cast and setting, there is a lot to love when it comes to this anime. So, while we wait for the next season to release, here are some recommendations to keep you busy in the meantime. The anime follows Kobayashi and her dragon maid. One day when Kobayashi opens her door to leave for office, she encounters a dragon watching her from across the balcony. The dragon immediately transforms into a cute, energetic young girl dressed in a maid outfit. The dragon introduces herself as Toru. It turns out that the first encounter between Kobayashi and Toru was not today. Instead, it was the previous night when Kobayashi was drunk and went to the mountains. Drunk Kobayashi had offered the dragon to stay with her, as the beast had no place to live. For this reason, Toru arrived at Kobayashi's home to repay her debt by working for her as a maid. Despite not wanting to fulfill whatever Kobayashi promised, Toru somehow pleases her and gets permission to stay with her. It brings out the great adventure in her house. Toru's unorthodox ways of managing her home sometimes horrify Kobayashi. Also, there are many situations when Toru adds to the trouble rather than helping Kobayashi. Moreover, things become more eccentric and horrific when other mystical characters begin to come to meet Toru at her new home. Watch this anime if you don't want to miss the crazy adventure of Kobayashi with her dragon maid. Chiyo is a 16-year-old energetic high school student who has fallen in love with her classmate Nozaki. Unfortunately, Nozaki is completely oblivious to Chiyo's feelings and mistakenly takes her for a fan during one of their early encounters, presenting her with an autograph when she tries to confess. It turns out that Nozaki is actually a respected shoujo mangaka publishing under a pen name who has hundreds, if not thousands of adoring fans. Wanting to get closer to Nozaki, Chiyo finds her way into his inner circle and becomes one of his manga assistants. Throughout the series, Chiyo befriends several of her classmates and tries her best to help Nozaki as best she can. Hopefully, should she keep up this strong effort, he will recognize her eventually. Both Nozaki-kun and My Senpai is Annoying are comedic slice of life romance anime with elements of a workplace dynamic going on in the background. Naturally, due to the age discrepancy between these anime characters, the work conducted in Nozaki-kun is much more lighthearted as we watch Chiyo go to class and work as a manga assistant. No getting depressed and heading off to a bar after work for these teenagers. Speaking of which, one of the major themes of My Senpai is Annoying is addressed in said bar scene. After Takita claims he wants his future daughter to be like Igarashi one day, she asks why she couldn't be his wife instead. In a similar vein, both Chiyo and Igarashi struggle to get those they like to recognize their feelings. The only difference here is that Igarashi must also realize her feelings for Takita herself before she can make any progress. Chiyo has you beat there, Igarashi. At least she knows what she wants. Habahiro Hijay works an office job and spends his days being teased by his 24-year-old colleague, Iori Wakabayashi. You see, Habahiro loves marshmallows, particularly tobacco marshmallows, and Iori holds no qualms with eating them in front of his face whenever possible. She even goes to the extent of buying up all the tobacco marshmallows from Habahiro's local store, so he is forced to go without. However, this is all just a ploy to secretly get the attention of Habahiro as, unbeknownst to him, Iori is in love with Habahiro and wants nothing more than to be in a relationship with his spongy marshmallow-like figure. There are a lot of similarities to unpack between Ajusan and Marshmallow and My Senpai is Annoying. Firstly, both shows take place in a workplace environment in which one character is being teased by another. The roles in Ajusan and Marshmallow, however, are switched in a similar way to the Uzaki and Sakurai dynamic. There are also themes of body image woven throughout this anime. Iori's friends cannot fathom why she would like someone like Habahiro, but Iori simply tells them there is something about Habuhiro's marshmallow-like softness both inside and out that appeals to her. Finally, we have the narrative device that Habuhiro, much like Takeda, is completely oblivious to any and all advances from their respective love interests. That seems to be a growing theme across most of these shows, which is incredibly infuriating.
ひろたか？
なるみ。
中学校以来だよね。久しぶり。後で一緒に食事でもどう？
いいよ。あ、なるみ。今度の夏コミは参加すんの？
Narumi Momose is a secret otaku who spends her days working in an office and her nights delving into whatever obsession has taken her fancy recently. Narumi's cover is almost blown, however, when a friend from her childhood asks whether she will be attending an upcoming convention. Eventually, the two go out for drinks where Narumi explains that her last boyfriend left her as he refused to date a Fujoshi. Hirataka suggests she would be better suited to an otaku boyfriend, and the two agree to start dating. Wotakoi follows the lives of these two throughout their adorable relationship as they try to navigate both their obsessions and their developing love life. Much like My Senpai is Annoying, Wotakoi is another office workplace anime focusing on a comedic slice of life narrative. One of the most appealing elements of My Senpai is Annoying was spending time in Igarashi's workplace and seeing her interact with an interesting ensemble cast. These moments really helped balance the romance and gave levity to some of the more serious moments. Wotakoi does the exact same thing with its supporting cast, and so, if you loved the secondary and tertiary characters in My Senpai is Annoying, you'll love Wotakoi's roster just as much. That isn't to say that the central love plot of Wotakoi is something to be overlooked. There are just as many cute moments shared between Narumi and Hirataka whenever they spend time together as there are between Igarashi and Takeda. If you enjoyed the more adult workplace environment type of romance scene in My Senpai is Annoying, Wotakoi will be perfect for you. Fostering a love for all things small and cute, Sauta Takanashi cannot refuse the adorable Papura Tanishima's offer after she recruits him to join a family restaurant in Hokkaido. Takanashi spends his days working while doting on Papura whenever given the chance, much to the aggravation of Papura, who is already self-conscious about how young she looks. As time progresses, Takanashi meets more of his co-workers, including a katana-wielding floor chief, the scary head chef, and the sadistic sous chef. Fueled by a hilariously unique ensemble cast, Wagnaria is a show with a lot to offer and an anime without a dull moment in sight. If your love of the workplace environment was what attracted you to shows like Wotakoi and My Senpai is Annoying, Wagnaria offers more of what you love, only this time, the work environment has shifted. Both Wotakoi and My Senpai is Annoying take place in traditional office settings. Wagnaria's restaurant setting allows for an entirely new dynamic between characters with different jobs for each of the staff members to play. As mentioned previously, My Senpai is Annoying also has an eccentric cast of secondary characters, and many of us have fallen in love with them just as much as our two leads. Wagnaria goes a step further, banking most of its narrative on the appeal of these secondary characters. Finally, Papura is just as small, cute, and manically self-conscious as Igarashi when it comes to her height discrepancy. Be sure to check out Wagnaria and send Papura some much-needed support. Takeo Guda is a rather large student and receives a lot of unwanted attention because of this. His body has left him an outcast from his peers due to the intimidation they feel whenever he walks by. Naturally, this would be enough to put the nail in the coffin of anyone's love life, but Makoto, Takeo's best friend and class heartthrob, is there to accidentally steal away any girl that may cross Takeo's path. After Takeo saves a young girl named Rinko from being molested aboard the train one day, the two begin hanging out together. As their romance blossoms, Takeo is given a new lease on life now that someone has finally managed to see past his scary exterior. At first glance, My Love Story seems to tick all the boxes when it comes to comparing the anime to My Senpai is Annoying. Takeo is larger than life and a similar build to Takeda, and both these men are pursuing romances with short cute women. However, the similarities do not stop there. Both these anime offer similar messages when it comes to judging books by their covers. Takeo is feared and segregated due to his size despite being nothing more than a gentle giant. Likewise, Igarashi is treated as infantile due to her height and is teased relentlessly because of it. However, after looking past the surface, we come to understand that both Takeo and Igarashi want to be seen as equal to those around them despite their body types. Both these anime have strong messages about acceptance when it comes to love and friendship.
私のこと遊びたい時にだけ遊ぶ都合のいい女扱いっすか?
After reconnecting with her former senpai at college, Uzaki is surprised to see that the once cool and popular Sakurai has become somewhat of a loner. Giving herself the task of saving Sakurai from his lonesome ways, Uzaki begins inviting him to the movies, a cafe, or wherever else she may be going that day. Sakurai is annoyed at first by Uzaki's constant pestering, but continues to go along with her shenanigans despite knowing the hijinks they will likely run into. As time progresses, the two strengthen their relationship and are often mistaken for a couple by friends and passers-by. But this is nothing more than a misunderstanding. After all, Sakurai and Uzaki are nothing more than really great friends. Right? Uzaki-chan and My Senpai is annoying share a lot of the same energy, and, due to them both being comedy, slice of life, romance anime, they share a lot of the same narrative themes as well. Both Igarashi and Uzaki are both pint-sized, energetic, and not afraid to say what they think. The power dynamics between these two shows are shifted, however, seeing Uzaki as the bully of Sakurai, similarly to how Takeda is the bully of Igarashi. With this comes a lot of the same comedy and romantic tension we know and love, but from a different angle. Sakurai is supposed to be the informative senpai of Uzaki, but finds himself struggling to put up with her joviality. Contrastly, Igarashi is arguably more mature than the annoying Takeda despite her being his kohai. Comparatively speaking, it is very amusing to see the shift in power between these anime and the different jokes and situations that are created because of this. The anime follows Misaki Aizawa. She becomes the first female student council president in Sika High School. This job of hers is not going to be easy as the school just transitioned from a complete boys' school to a co-ed one. She has earned the nickname Demon President. And this nickname is given to her by her schoolboys because of her strict disciplinary style. However, Misaki is not at all afraid of using her Aikido techniques to defend the girls of her school and teach the bad boys lessons. But this reputed student has an embarrassing secret. She works as a maid in a maid cafe to help her family pay the bills. However, she has very well kept this secret from her fellow mates till the day Takumi Yusui, the most popular boy of the school, walks into the maid cafe.
誰しも他人には見せない一面がある。私たちは他人には見せない時間の共有者になった。
Horimiya is a cute love story of high school students. If you have completed high school, you will be mesmerized by the story, and if you are a high school student, you probably want a love story like this. If you love romance, then you cannot miss this anime. Izumi is an introverted guy who remains isolated. He appears unpretentious and distant to his classmates. While Izumi appears meekly in school, one cannot recognize him after school due to his piercings and tattoos. On the other hand, Hari is a beautiful girl with brains. However, both of them are different after school. Despite having friends, she does not spend much time after school due to her household chores. No one ever imagined these two to be together. But when the two started meeting each other after school, things between them began to change. Despite being opposite, their odd similarities bring them together. They begin to share those sides that they concealed from the world. The story of the anime follows Nasa Uzaki. Yuzuki is determined to mark his name in history by ranking first in the national exam and getting admitted into the top-notch high school. He has pre-planned everything until he meets Fate. Fate turns out to be a girl for him, who he encounters on the road. Blindfolded by her charm, he walks to her to begin a conversation, neglecting the truck coming on the road. The vehicle hits him. However, he is saved by the girl who takes half of his injuries. Lying on the ground, bleeding from the head, he watches the girl walking away under the moonlight. It seemed to him reminiscent of Princess Kaguya leaving for the moon. He does not accept this fate and decides to run after the fairy-like girl and ask her out with his bleeding body. Surprised by his pure dedication, the girl accepts his confession, but on one condition. The condition is that he has to marry her if he wants her to stay with him together. Do you guys enjoyed the list of top 10 anime similar to My Senpai, is annoying, or find a new anime to watch? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell for more anime content like this. Take care and I'll see you on the next video. See ya.